beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel, Princess Starlight. Today's episode is about Lyran Starseed. It's very close to me, and I have been called upon. I feel a lot of connection with Lyran Starseeds. So, what are Starseeds? Every soul is a Starseed eventually, because it's like we have been planted by we have stardust within ourselves, right? So, every soul is a Starseed, but right now the concept is that there are many souls who are spiritually or technologically advanced than the souls that are on planet Earth at current, because we are in 3D. So from 4D, 5D, these souls have volunteered to come here on Earth because it's the time of evolution, from where individual and collective consciousness of the entire planet is going to shift, and they would awaken to the fact of galaxies, intergalaxies, planets, different beings, inhabiting different planets. So star seeds are now awakening, and it's just like, we have been, if you know the sleeper cell concept, so we have been like the sleeping cells, and now with time and whatever our job or service here is for which we volunteered, we have started to wake up. And there are many star seeds coming from Pleiadian, Orion, Andromeda, Arcturian, and Lyra. So I am today going to talk about Lyran star seeds. They look like lions. They have the features of cat-like, and if you start awakening, you will automatically know, your awakening will keep guiding you to one particular star seed, and you might have a connection. So we have been, incarnating in different planets, different galaxies, but then the core genetics can be different for everybody. So, who are Lyran Starseeds? So, they are original keepers of ancient knowledge. So, these are very ancient souls. They say they are the first ones with whom, they are like the parent, and that's how the humanity comes. So, they're very ancient souls with deep spiritual wisdoms, and through their spiritual awakening, these star seeds activate their power. It's common for any star seed that once you start walking on the path of your spirituality and start awakening, your DNA starts to change, and the light codes and all the imprints that are, it's like a coding that's done in your DNA, and you have collected over your past lifetimes and in incarnations. And now when you tap into it, they start to activate, and your computer, so if this body is like a computer, you're getting an activation, right, update. So they are very evolved beings that originated from Vega, and it's a brightest planet within the Lyra constellation and Sirius planets, though they have been found on many planets across various galaxies. So, they have originated from Lyran constellation in planet Vega, but you can find them in Orion, Pleiades, and when they were here in Lemuria and Atlantis, you'll always find them. So, they are spread across galaxies and Sirius A and B planets. I think it's planet B, Sirius B. They have very advanced institutions for spiritual development. So, if you have a connection to them, then you might have uh, advanced spiritual techniques to develop soul and help others. That's just a little small thing. So, they are spread now across various galaxies. All right. So, it's bordered up by Vulpecula to the south, Hercules to the east, Draco to the north, and Cygnus to the west. And it's kind of a vulture or eagle representation of the Lyra, so they are always known as the falling eagle or falling vulture. So if you believe in animal totems, you will always find, when you start connecting through numbers, through animal totems or feathers, you'll start, something you'll hear on TV or radio, or something, will fall out of, from you just normally talking to a stranger or somebody, and they'll end up saying something, and it'll resonate, and you will understand that the message is for you. So it can come in any forms, and you don't have to, just don't put too much of logic. Flow from your heart, and things will just start automatically connecting. So if you think that nothing is working out, just don't push yourself. That's what I've learned over the years, that the more I tried to push, the more I thought, things were not working. But the more I just flow from the heart, the space of love and light, it seems like, everything is there. And I'm the one, just my heart, because it's my ego telling me, no, 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 this is not working, and I'm getting impatient, right? So you don't have to do that. Now, if you want to consider, like, they are cousins to Pleiadians, and they have spent many incarnations in Pleiadians. So, when we look at the history of Earth, of this planet, much, much before that, there was a war between Lyran and Draconians. So, this war ended up killing 50 million Lyrans, and then the survivors took refuge in different planets and galaxies. So, Lyrans, why did they lose the war? Because this race was focused on love, peace, and they did not believe in war or violence. So when the Draconians came, these are people who serve themselves. They are hungry for power, ego, and they feed on your fear. So if you know a little about Draconians, the people, the reptilian peoples, they say they have their own systems, and when the fear releases as it releases an energy from the body, and that's why they look for young humans, young children, because the fear that the young ones have, it it's like, the vibration of that fear, they feed on that. So basically they ended up having this war, and that's why Lyrans had to take refuge. They had to flee with whoever was surviving, and they shifted to different planets and galaxies, and they ended mostly in Pleiades, Sirius, Orion, Andromeda, and there they took refuge, and from there they started to increase their population. So they were basically the first ones to seed human life. They played a very unique role in the creation of humanity. So they are the ones seeding human life, and they offered the element of fire and seeding of the first souls to Atlantis and Lemuria. Remember, when Atlantis and Lemuria were up above on the planet, they were basically galactic colonies. That means they right now we are just living in a human world, but back in Atlantis and Lemuria, we were having a galactic federation, people of different races living together, cohabiting together, and making a civilization. So that's why it's a very, very advanced civilization. All right. So what are Lyrans doing here? Lyrans are here to embrace abundance and freedom on every possible level. So they tap into their strong intuition and trust where they are being led. They really rely on the internal GPS system basically. They have very strong intuition. It's like, when they start tapping into their intuition, they'll feel that, like, literally their chest area or the entire body is vibrating. And in the end, no matter how confused they are, they end up doing the right thing and following the path that their inner wisdom is telling them, because they're very, very wise souls. Their energy or their aura is so attractive that animals, plants, the elements of nature, they get attracted to them, even human souls, right? So how will you identify? So lyres, the symbol is a lyre and the harp. Even when you look up into the night sky, the harp shaped constellation is the symbol for Lyrans. These are very abundant and playful souls in nature, and they find their passion, they, f- they find themselves very passionate about creativity, about art, about how they're going to make everlasting civilizations based on love, peace, compassion, kindness, justice, all those things, because they really want to build a civilization that's going to last for a very, very long time. And if on from individual to collective level, if we are not acting from a space of love, and if it's only fear based or need based, ego based, then sooner or later that will crumble down. But if you have based something based on love, then it's never gonna fail you. Believe me, love and light, they never fail you. So that's why their teachings of wisdom is, they have very, very deep wisdoms, because remember, they have incarnated in various galaxies, various planets, and collecting a lot of wisdom and teachings throughout these incarnations. And it's just the matter of awakening, and you'll be surprised of the things that they can do. And if you are one of the Lyrans, you would be definitely surprised. You might think right now that no, this is not me, or oh, how can it be? I don't know even this. But what happens is when you start awakening, you'll find yourself in a very different dimension. You're right here, but your world has changed. You see things very differently, and therefore these souls have volunteered to come on planet Earth right now, because they have the creative energy and the way they blossom. So in their visions, that's why they are heavy daydreamers, because they are creating a vision in their heads. So it might take time to be, it might take time for them to manifest it on the physical planes, but when they do, it's like, there's a flower that has blossomed very beautifully. So that's why their creative energy is very, very passionate. Now, how do you know if you're a Lyran, or a particular soul is a Lyran? There are certain traits, and they can be found if in your astrological chart you have Leo, or you are a Leo, then in your sun and moon, then you'll know that these traits are similar to lions, but these are like the core traits, and you cannot shake them off, right? They're very adventurous, and they're not fearful of the unknown. In fact, they're very, very curious about what's out there in the unknown world, which is not visible, right? So they are very confident and fearless about that. And being natural born leaders, they obviously feel alienated to the masses. So maybe it might be your family, the society you grew up in, your friends, the kind of environment and culture you are in, but you feel you're very different. You always see, you can see basically.
All right, so some of the common feelings and patterns that I see is that once the awakening process for starseeds starts, especially for Lyran starseeds, what happens is when they are awakening, all right, to their lessons, and they have the sense of feeling that they are made for the path of service. So you find these common situations, the intensity can be different, but there will be a similar underlying feeling and pattern. So they have been in situations or karmic cycles that kept them trapped or suppressed, right? And they have a feeling that they have been caged and made to believe. So they are made to believe by society, or they themselves believe that they were meant to be like a sheep, a follower of something, right? But what happens is they, with the awakening, they start to feel very different, and they still don't know, they cannot be put a finger, but they start feeling this feeling of being caged, right? They feel like they have been caged, no matter how much comfort was there in that cage once upon a time, how much comfortable they felt there, but sooner or later that feeling will arise, and this feeling is only going to get more deeper and deeper, that you're supposed to be out there, you're meant to be out there serving, looking, doing adventures, all the lion traits basically, and you are there to lead, right? So they will now want to be free. They would want to express themselves, that they, the way they feel, they want to be independent in every aspect of life, and therefore they only want such relationships to be whether be it be friends or family, and especially in terms of their partner. They cannot adjust in a relationship that they can adjust with love, But if anything is suppressing them or taking away their freedom, don't, because they will not stand that. Sooner or later, it's like they might for some time, but then it's like, you're suppressing something and then they end up bursting, right? It ends up bursting with the pressure. So eventually that will happen and they will walk out. So they really need a lot of independence and freedom within themselves.
Second point, they are very loyal. These are the core values. They are very loyal, respectable, they command respect and they give respect equally. You will always feel like, in their environment you're going to feel very good. So because they are very elegant and old souls, and they really believe in that kind of environment for everybody, not just for themselves. And when they love unconditionally. They are very deeply aware. So when I talk about love, it's not just the physical but mentally, emotionally, through the soul. And if you talk about physical love, then they are very deeply aware that sex and love are two separate things. So their understanding of love is on, let's put like, they they are up there on the 10th level, while the rest of them are like on the third or fourth level. So their understanding is way another on like 360 turn, right? And altogether they just cannot stand being lied to, cheated to, or as I said, suppressed. No, their free will and freedom, their independence is very important. And as they start realizing that, they are not going to compromise on anything. Once they awaken, they realize that they they are not basically the sheep, but they are meant to be like the roaring lion and lionesses, irrespective to your gender, right? The soul has its own energy, masculine and feminine. So whatever they feel, whatever you feel in terms of that, whether you're a king and queen, but you're here to rule. And the power is not the worldly power, but it's the power of love, unconditional love. You really respect that power because you think it's the utmost important, because they are ancient souls. They know that soul is, we are eternal citizens and we are traveling. So soul is going to travel one life after another. So they really understand, they have deep wisdom and knowledge about that, and therefore they know the only thing that they are going to take forward is love, good memories, and they really want to build that for everybody. And then they have this deep sense that there is a duty and responsibility, and they will do anything to break free from that cage. So remember I talked about that no matter how beautiful cage they were put in, like their life circumstances, maybe they had a beautiful family, beautiful friends, beautiful, they grew up in society very loved or whatever, but sooner or later for them it's like, it's a hindrance. This, it's like, again, for it's wall, and they find themselves limited. They really want to be out there because they're adventurers. They want to know more about what's out there. So sooner or later they would want to break free from that. You might also come across some of them. They are very reserved, they talk very less, and they're always very quiet. But don't take their silence for granted, because they are observing, they listen, and they do not judge quickly anybody, but they are very, see, they're very intuitive. So when they observe something, they're not looking at what words you're speaking. It This thing is, this feeling of energy is common in starseeds, but for them it's a little heightened. So what happens is, your body gestures, the words that you speak, they are not looking into that. They are looking at the subtext of subtext. Let me put it that way. What exactly that means is, they are looking at the underlying energy of that soul, and they are very good. Once they start practicing it, they become really quick at it, and that's why they are able to be on the leader position, right? Because they can identify what's going to work and what's not going to work for the team together. Being Lyrans, there is a sense of confidence in their aura that is unshakable, and it is felt by whoever crosses their path. They're very silent beings, very peaceful beings, so the energy is also like that, and that's how you feel in their presence. silent observers, always listening. They speak very less, or they might speak very beautifully. So when they take the stage, it's like you are just mesmerized when they speak. Like everybody becomes very silent because they have the capacity. Their communication skills are going to be really excellent. They are good orators. I would like to put it that way. And it's like the audience is just captivated, like it's magic flowing in the air when they speak. So their words actually are very powerful and magnetic, just like a moth to the flame situation. So they know that the words have power, and therefore they are very careful when they speak. And when they speak something, it always tends to manifest in the physical reality. And with time they start seeing that, so they are very well aware somewhere deep down, even if they cannot put the they cannot identify. They know that if they speak less, but when they speak, certain things just manifest all of a sudden. So they slowly will become aware of that power too, the manifestation power. Now when we talk about their personality, they are very charismatic people. Like automatically, people just get attracted to them, not just in physical plane. It's like, physically they might not be that attractive. It's not about the physical appearance. It's about the energy that they carry. In their presence you feel at peace. You feel that you feel that sense of peace and calmness within yourself. So it's not about the physical looks. They are beautiful, but then the energy, it's very very grounding, and you feel grounded in their presence. And they are so confident leaders, yet their heart is filled with kindness, warmth. So whether they are the masculine energy or the feminine energy in their presence, you feel like they are like the father or mother figure who are always nurturing, taking care, providing you with warmth and love, no matter how wrong you have been. So that energy is flowing from them, which and this cannot be seen, but it can only be felt. Their comfort, their love, and peace ends up automatically attracting souls needing help, who have now awakened to a sense of this light. So remember the sleeper cell things. Now, right now, all the souls, they already have their codes in the souls, but then the ones who are awakening, now the ones that have awakened, they are looking for something else, not the outer world, the comforts and luxuries in the outer world. They are looking for deep sense of happiness, peace, love within themselves, right? They don't want to be in a situation where they are suffering or being traumatized by their own emotions and mental state. So now the ones that are awakening, they will automatically be attracted to, because remember I keep saying that take what resonates with you. Why do I say that? Is because soul has a resonance. It's just like tuning into a radio, and once you tune in, when the frequency matches, you attract same kind of thing. So what what is your frequency within? We need to start checking that again and again. It starts with your thoughts and it starts with your emotions. And once you pay that attention, a little attention to what you're feeling and what you're thinking, you would be able to shift that pattern slowly. So maybe outside you think things are not changing, but the little focus that you put on your inside world basically is going to make a major shift in your life. And it is gonna happen slowly. It's like the voltage of energy. You cannot at once give a lot of voltage. You have to slowly pump in the energy so that they do not get a shock. So it's the same with awakening souls. All of a sudden you're not gonna reach the enlightenment stage or love and light. You have to keep putting effort every day, little by little, and keep pumping yourself up, and you will see the results. So their energy is so sorry, I have this, I just go a little outside the road, I may, if I can put it that way. So now their energy, it's like a parenting energy, and obviously the souls who need help, right, who have gone through a little suffering, emotional or mental trauma, or suffering, any kind of thing. These kind of souls are looking for certain peace, and they will always end up coming to such souls because they have a light, and their light is so bright within themselves that it ends up attracting such kinds of souls. So you might not be aware, but you'll always see you end up attracting souls that are emotionally broken within, or they are arrogant or egoistic, but they know that that's not good for them in the long run, and they really want to overcome that. So just when you end up interacting with such souls, they automatically enter your world, by the way. It's like you're not looking for them, but they always find you and you always end up being with them. So when you have, just give them love and forgiveness, and help them as much as you can. You just don't have to be like doing everything for them. You also need to put your, set your boundaries for energy interaction with such souls, because they take a lot of energy. So you have to protect, and you need to recharge yourself and then go out and help these souls. All right, let's move to the fourth point. Okay, now these souls are old and wise, so they are wise old souls. But a word of advice: who are waking up to their heritage, that protecting your energy and filling and grounding your vessel. So again, it's about, the energy, how you're gonna fill your this human body vessel with it, and then how you're going to use it. The more you ground your energy, so there's a light body within this body. The more you ground yourself with Mother Earth, Gaia, Panchamama, you are going to, it's like you are growing your roots, light roots, and you're not attaching it to the light of planet Earth, Mother Gaia. And the more you ground yourself, the more you would be able to flow properly. Because if you're not connected, then the charge, the energy flow can move from here to there. So that's why they if you have a capacity to give unconditional love, then remember, on the other side you can snap, you can get angry, and these things come out very quickly if you're not grounded properly. So that's one thing. So you have to remain in balance and stick to your path. This will ease you to serve and to be unconditionally, flow naturally. With this, I remember that, when you take a flight and the flight attendant says that, first, before helping others, put your mask on first. It's the same with energy. Before you help others, it's good that, you're here to serve, you're here to help souls. But the first thing is to protect yourself, to ground yourself, to make sure you have sufficient energy within yourself, and then you're going out there to share. So that's a very good example of the mask and the flight attendant that I just remembered. The mantra that Lyrans can use is simple: is ground, ground your energy, and express through art, through creativity, whether it is through music, through movies, through words. You see the directors in, especially the industry, Bollywood or Hollywood, or basically where you are making pictures or writing. Do you see the creativity of the author? In order to flow in such way, to write something that resonates with your audience, you need to ground yourself. So that's the mantra: ground and express. Because for you are the leader, right? And many are awaiting for you to show them the path. No matter if you do not believe in yourself, but they do, you'll start seeing that. So you might not believe in yourself right now, but the faith and belief that these other souls are going to put in you, right? You will have no option but to believe in the faith and belief of those souls. And that will follow you, and that sense of service basically will push you forward. And the drive of service and duty is what these stars, Lyran Starseeds, thrive in and they live for. They do want to make a civilization, community, family, everything, but the sense of service and duty to others is what they live on. That's their, let's say, that's their drug. So let your path unfold naturally, and see the doors if it will open for you. Just start doing. If you feel the resonance, just start walking. No matter if you, there is nothing right and wrong in the creator's plan. So don't judge yourself. First, the first step is don't judge yourself, criticize yourself. A little belief and faith in your own self can take you very far. So start walking that path. And there is a very good saying that God Himself comes down to serve those who serve His creation, because He's very happy with those souls who take out the time to help the other souls that were created by the Creator Himself. So He's very happy to come and help. No matter how big or small your contribution, always remember, if if you are on this timeline, right? And you know you are a star seed and you have landed upon any such topic, not just my channel or what I share, but there are so many out there who are awakening and have that they have started to share. Then if you have landed, even if you want to say, oh, I accidentally landed upon this, no, 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 there was certain resonance from your soul. You might not know, but your soul knows, and that's why you landed upon that such topics. So we have basically volunteered here to serve at this timeline, because Earth is going to shift. There is going to be a collective consciousness shift, and we are here at this timeline to help the souls move from 3D to 4D and eventually 5D. So it's a very long path, all right? And it's gonna take time. We might not be here because we have a little limited lifespan in this human body, 100 years or a little more than that. But then from 3D to 4D to 5D, the earth has to shift. So imagine, so why do we need to follow the path and fulfill our duty? Because imagine if the seers or the gurus or the prophets of the previous centuries did not write about the inner world and topics on spirituality, then when we came here, we wouldn't have found what they wrote, and then we wouldn't have tapped into our spirituality and awakened. So we are here, we have to build a huge, it's like, there is an entire project, and we are the initial builders who are here to build the foundation. Once we lay down that foundation, the future generations, more and more souls will come, and they will build, the other floors. So we are here to lay the foundation of the first floor, or the initial stage of the first project. So that's why our duty. We might think, oh, it's a very small contribution, how does that matter? But you have to go somewhere and your driver is not there. How do you feel? Or the person who's making coffee for you also, right? Or you are the one who's making coffee. Remember, we rely on each other. We're connected to each other. We are one. All right, so it's our duty, it's a team project, and everybody is important. So, common, I spoke a lot, I know, but I'll generally put the common points that I feel that would help you. These are like they are going to be the bullet points, and they might resonate with you, might not resonate with you. That's all right. So I'll just put that in the next slide, and you can have a look. With that, I think I have covered everything that I wanted to talk about Lyrans today. So, with that, I'm going to leave you beautiful souls to think, find, and awaken to your respective divine blueprint plan that your soul carries. As we are very unique and we are here with our own missions, everything is within us. Just keep walking with patience and persistence. Remember, there are light souls and there are dark souls, and there are light ones are here to serve, the dark ones are here to serve themselves. So when you get into contact, or when you start your spiritual process, you'll know they are there. So always remember that the thoughts that are coming to you, you will get to know whether they are good or bad. Just feel the internal GPS, the intuition. It will always tell you whether you're on the right path or the wrong path, and just get back. All right. So don't worry about it. Slowly and steadily ground yourself, express yourself with patience and persistence. Keep walking no matter how dark it is out there. Because no matter how dark clouds are there, above that the sun is always there. We are not able to see it right now. We think we are surrounded by darkness and there's no light, but there is behind those dark clouds. The light does exist and it will always be there. So, with that, bless you with lots of divine love and light. Take care. I'm so, so grateful that you gave me your time and you heard me out. Bye bye. Take care.